But over
I
100.
be on some nut shit though. Like I don't know what's wrong with me, bro.
Have you been robbed by a woman in a hotel yet?
The story of Blueface, born Jonathan Jamal Porter, has always been one of spectacle and controversy, but his latest chapter has stunned the world in ways few expected. Once known for his offbeat flow and viral hits, Blueface is now making headlines not for his music, but for the shocking images emerging from behind prison walls. In August 2024, he was sentenced to 4 years in a Los Angeles County facility, tied to probation violations from a 2021 assault case. At first, fans assumed the rapper's fame would fade in confinement. Instead, his presence has grown louder, defying the silence most inmates are forced into. Just days ago, the internet erupted when Blueface shared new photographs of himself from behind bars. The images revealed a man nearly unrecognizable, lean and muscular, covered in fresh facial tattoos, staring into the lens with a hardened resolve. Captions like, "This is not a 50-50 yard," and "Am I missing out or y'all missing me?" only deepened the mystique. Fans scrolled in disbelief, asking if the transformation was real or a carefully crafted persona. The reactions came swiftly. Some followers joked that jail had turned Blueface into the Hulk, while others feared prison was breaking him down. His mother, Carlisa Saffold, quickly stepped in to silence rumors, insisting her son was stronger than ever, mentally and physically. Yet, the debate lingers. Is this the natural evolution of a man surviving the system, or the tragic unraveling of a young star in isolation? Blueface prison photos are more than a viral moment. They're a lens into how fame, incarceration, and image-making collide in the age of social media. This is not just a story about one rapper. It is a cultural snapshot of resilience, reinvention, and the blurred lines between survival and spectacle. What startled fans most was not simply that Blueface appeared online from prison, but how profoundly different he looked. The young rapper who once strutted across stages with a wiry frame and a mischievous smile now seemed forged into someone entirely new. His body, once slim and lanky, had taken on the sculpted definition of a man hardened by discipline. Muscles pressed against the fabric of his prison attire, his shoulders broader, his chest fuller, his posture radiating a kind of strength that many believed prison life had forced upon him. But beyond the physique, it was his face that told the bigger story. New tattoos, bold and unapologetic, now climbed across his features, layering symbols on a canvas that already carried the marks of his past. Where some fans once saw the familiar playfulness in his eyes, they now saw intensity, a piercing gaze that spoke of struggle, transformation, and perhaps survival. The change was so striking that online debates erupted almost instantly. Was this the natural result of months spent in confinement, lifting weights and reflecting on his choices? Or was Blueface deliberately reconstructing his image, knowing the power of shock in an era where every picture travels across the globe in seconds? The captions he chose added fuel to the fire. "This is not a 50-50 yard," he wrote, hinting at the rough realities of his environment, while another post read, "Am I missing out or y'all missing me?" A line that blurred the boundary between vulnerability and bravado. Each word seemed calculated to provoke, to spark conversation, to remind the world that Blueface was not forgotten. What changed, then, was not only his appearance but the very narrative surrounding him. Once defined by viral antics and catchy hooks, Blueface now stood as a symbol of reinvention under extreme circumstances. His transformation challenged fans to reconcile two versions of the same man: the entertainer they danced to, and the inmates staring back at them with inked skin and sharpened resolve. Whether seen as growth, desperation, or performance, the shift was undeniable. And in this transformation lies a deeper truth. When an artist like Blueface reshapes himself behind prison walls, it becomes more than personal change. It becomes a cultural event, a moment where image, survival, and spectacle intersect in a way only modern fame can amplify. The stage for this dramatic reveal wasn't a press conference, a courtroom, or even a leaked mugshot. It was Instagram, one of the few digital lifelines that can keep an artist's name alive, even when their physical freedom is gone. Blueface's new images surfaced directly through his official account, a platform he has often used to blur the line between personal diary and public performance. In doing so, he reminded the world that even in confinement, Fame has its channels, and image-making never truly pauses. The posts were carefully curated. The lighting was sharp, the angles deliberate, the captions cryptic but powerful. Unlike grainy, unauthorized prison snapshots that sometimes find their way online, these photos had intent behind them. They weren't just updates, they were statements. Statements that said, "I'm still here. I'm still in control of my narrative." And that is what caught fans off guard. Where most inmates fade from the spotlight, Blueface's presence only grew louder. His posts spread quickly across blogs, hip-hop news outlets, and social media platforms, dominating timelines on Hot New Hip Hop, TMZ, Rolling Out, and countless fan pages. Each outlet framed the images differently. Some treated them as evidence of shocking physical change, others as a commentary on the ways celebrities navigate incarceration. But no matter the lens, the message was the same. Blueface had found a way to keep the world watching. The fact that these images appeared on Instagram also added another layer of intrigue. How did they get out? Who controlled the phone or access needed to upload them? Was it Blueface himself, working through connections inside, or his team on the outside, releasing them strategically to keep his brand alive? The questions only fueled the buzz, leaving fans to speculate about how much of this transformation was organic and how much was orchestrated. What became clear is that the medium mattered as much as the message. By choosing Instagram, the rapper bypassed traditional narratives of incarceration. Instead of being portrayed by the justice system or filtered through media outlets, he broadcast himself directly to millions of followers. In that act, Blueface didn't just update the world on his appearance. He reclaimed authorship of his story. As the photos spread across timelines and headlines, the internet erupted. Fans, critics, and casual observers all had something to say, and their reactions revealed just how deeply Blueface's transformation resonated. Some scrolled in disbelief, stunned by the muscular frame and bold new facial tattoos. Memes circulated almost instantly, jokes comparing him to the Hulk, or quips that prison had turned him from a toothpick into a tank. For many, the sheer physical change was entertainment in itself, a moment tailor-made for the viral age. But beneath the humor, there was concern. Some fans worried that the once playful rapper now looked hardened, older, even broken. On platforms like X and TikTok, comments flooded in. He aged 50 years in jail. They need to let him out before he tattoos his nose. Others asked whether his body transformation was natural or the result of outside help, speculating wildly about steroid use or unhealthy coping mechanisms behind bars. The prison environment, they argued, seemed to be carving its mark into him both physically and mentally. Not all the voices were critical, however. A different group of fans saw the change as resilience, as proof that Blueface was using his time to rebuild himself rather than collapse under the weight of isolation. They pointed to his sharper, more serious look as evidence of growth, a man forced to shed the frivolous antics of celebrity life and adapt to the harsh realities of prison. To them, these photos weren't a cry for help, but a message of survival. And that duality, humor on one side, concern on the other, captured the cultural moment perfectly. In the age of social media, fans don't just witness transformation, they participate in it, shaping the narrative with every meme, every thread, every viral clip. Blueface photos became more than a personal update. They became a canvas onto which people projected their fears, their jokes, their admiration, and their criticism. In the end, the reactions said as much about the audience as they did about the artist. For some, Blueface's prison transformation was tragic. For others, it was inspiring. For many, it was just another moment to laugh and share online. But together, those reactions formed the chorus of a global conversation, one that ensured Blueface, even from behind bars, remained at the center of the cultural stage. Amidst the storm of memes, speculation, and concern, one voice cut through with fierce clarity: Blueface's mother, Carlisa Saffold. Known for her outspoken personality and complicated history with her son, Carlisa took to live streams and social media to confront the rumors head-on. For her, this wasn't just about internet chatter. It was about defending her son's strength and character in a moment when the world seemed eager to pick him apart. She dismissed the claims that Blueface had resorted to steroids, calling such talk absurd. In her words, his transformation was nothing more than the product of discipline, time, and a sharpened mental state. She insisted that the man fans were now seeing was not broken, but rebuilt. He's never been stronger, physically or mentally, she asserted, pushing back against narratives of depression or decline. To Carlisa, her son wasn't deteriorating in prison. He was preparing for release, for redemption, for the chance to step back into the world with a new sense of purpose. Her defense, however, did more than just counter the negative headlines. It revealed the complex role family plays in shaping public perception. As fans debated whether Blueface tattoos and physique were signs of struggle or survival, Carlisa reframed the story as one of resilience. To her, the tattoos weren't marks of despair, they were declarations. His muscles weren't proof of artificial enhancement. They were evidence of discipline in a place where chaos often reigns. But her words also reignited another layer of discussion. Was this a mother's unwavering faith, or was she working to control the narrative just as much as her son's social media posts? For supporters, Carlisa's stance was proof that Blueface remained grounded, supported, and mentally sharp. For skeptics, it was easier to dismiss her statements as damage control, designed to keep her son's reputation intact until he could walk free again. Regardless of which side fans fell on, one thing was undeniable. Carlisa's response gave the story a new dimension. It shifted the conversation from one of ridicule and concern to one of resilience and family defense. It reminded the public that behind every viral photo and every sensational headline, there are loved ones fighting to protect the humanity of the person at the center of it all. And in doing so, Carlisa ensured that the debate over Blueface transformation wasn't just about muscles or tattoos. It was about survival, image, and the fierce loyalty of a mother's voice. Beyond the tattoos, the muscles, and the captions, Blueface transformation speaks to something much bigger than one rapper's story. It shines a light on the strange, almost paradoxical space where celebrity and incarceration intersect. In a time when visibility is currency, even a prison cell cannot strip away the power of image. Blueface has shown that, with a single Instagram post, an inmate can bend the narrative, hold the spotlight, and force the world to react. This is the larger significance, the way fame reshapes the very meaning of confinement. Traditionally, incarceration meant invisibility, fading into silence, waiting to be remembered upon release. But in the digital age, with millions of followers and a team on the outside, celebrities can remain present, even dominant, in the cultural conversation. Blueface photos didn't just update his fans, they challenged the boundaries of what it means to be an entertainer in prison. He reminded us that the performance doesn't stop when the stage disappears. The audience is still there, watching, waiting, reacting. At the same time, his story exposes the cost of that visibility. The public dissected every inch of his new look, debating his health, his choices, his very state of mind. His body became a spectacle, his tattoos a subject of comedy and critique. Fame gave him a platform, but it also stripped him of privacy, turning survival into entertainment. This is the dual edge of modern celebrity: empowerment on one side, exploitation on the other. And yet, Blueface transformation also holds a mirror to the culture itself. The fascination with his new image isn't just about him, it's about us. About the way society consumes stories of downfall and reinvention. About how quickly we turn a prison yard into a stage, and an inmate into a character in a broader cultural drama. Blueface has become both the author of his narrative and the subject of our collective projection, embodying the blurred line between survival and spectacle. In the end, the larger significance of these shocking jail photos is not simply that Blueface changed. It's that he forced us to confront how fame, incarceration, and social media collide in today's world. His transformation is less about one man's body and more about the way culture itself has evolved. Behind those prison walls, Blueface did more than reinvent his image. He reminded us that in the age of endless visibility, even the confines of a cell cannot silence a star. Blueface's shocking new jail photos are more than viral snapshots. They are a story of transformation, of survival, and of how modern fame refuses to be silenced, even behind prison walls. From his dramatic physical changes to the reactions of fans and the fierce defense from his mother, every layer of this saga reveals the tension between image and reality, between spectacle and survival. What began as disbelief online quickly evolved into a cultural conversation about how incarceration reshapes identity, about how celebrities wield social media to remain visible, and about how the public consumes these transformations with both fascination and judgment. Blueface has not only rewritten his own narrative, he's also exposed how deeply our culture is invested in the lives of its icons, even when those lives unfold in confinement. So, what do we really see when we look at those photos? A rapper hardened by prison? A man reinventing himself? Or a reflection of our own obsession with reinvention and spectacle? Perhaps it's all of the above. One thing is certain, Blueface's story is far from over. These images are not the final chapter, but a glimpse into a continuing saga that will unfold the moment he walks free. Until then, the world will keep watching, questioning, and debating. Because in the age of social media, the spotlight never truly fades. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more deep dives into stories at the crossroads of fame and culture, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think? Has prison transformed Blueface for better? Or is this just another performance for the world to consume? Let's talk about it.